Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Factorio Towns. In the last episode we built our first train, but we're not going to be able to get straight on with building our towns because as you can see the biters are quite angry and they're attacking us an awful lot right now, so it's a little bit difficult to really sort of build any new places. They'd have to be heavily fortified and with them needing stations and things. It'd be quite large, so I think what we need to do today is sort out the biter threat first before we actually start building our towns. We can also have a look at where we want to build them, have a get a bit of scanning done with the radars, and have a look around at the various deposits around the place to see what is a good place to put a town. So right now I'm crafting a bunch of ammo so that we can, so that we've got enough to try and take out some of the larger biter bases. We've managed to take out one with 2 spawners, so we've now got to sort of upgrade to larger numbers. There could be as many as 10 in the big one in the northeast, and that is definitely one that we have to tackle before we can build anything over in that direction at least. So another thing that's happened is the copper supply has run out. There were only 2 mining drills with not very much to go between them working on it, and they've run out now, so we'll have to go and find a new source of copper. Now this is a bit of a dangerous moment because if we accidentally use up our copper making random not so important things, we might not have enough to make like the mining drills and stuff that we need to actually start mining some new copper. Though of course we could always harvest it from somewhere else. There's plenty of materials around that we could make use of. So I've crafted a couple of mining drills, and I've also got the ones from the old place that we were mining from, ready to go and find a new deposit. Also just checking up on all the guns, making sure they're well supplied. Still using the standard ammo for now because I don't really have enough in the way of steel and things to, well, and indeed copper, to supply them with armor-piercing ammo. Get a bit of science done there, and now I'm just sort of deciding what direction to go in. I decided to get the oil processing stuff done just so that we can start working on that. It may be a while yet, but let's try attacking one of these bases. First of all, I'm going to have a look at these 2 that are near to the iron deposit, see which one's biggest, and then go for the other one. So the one in the southwest, there's an attack coming from it. We'll just run away from that because we don't want to use up our ammo before we do the attack itself. Although that be wasted on the little outpost we got, and then we'll run in. This one has 5 spawners and 2 worms, so we'll see what we can do. We've gone in with, I believe, 50 magazines of armor-piercing ammo, though we've not got all the research we could get done on damage, and we pretty much run out after taking out 3 of the spawners. So another attack with 50 ammo should be enough to take it down. And of course, the more spawners you have, the more ammo you use up dealing with the biters that come out of them. So that was alright, we didn't die. We got a little bit closer to running out of ammo before I managed to take out the 3rd spawner. But we're going to leave that for now. We'll go home, resupply, and come back later on with more firepower. So what we're going to do is put down some mining drills and stuff and start mining the copper over here, because it makes the most sense. We've already got something established in this area, and there's a copper deposit literally meters from the iron deposit, so we might as well just start using that one. We'll have the belts run alongside each other, taking the ore back, and this will become an even more vital part of the part of our factory because it's supplying us with all of our iron and copper now. It's a bit of a worry, really. I didn't consider this at the time, but we really are putting all our eggs in one basket here, and we've got to keep a very close eye on this place and deal with the biters that are all swarming around it and building their homes next to it. Here's some of them now. I'm sort of, whenever I'm near an outpost, I'm just going to let the outpost deal with it because it seems to work fairly well. And I only had the 3 magazines handy at the time, so didn't really want to be using it up if I didn't need to. So we're taking the ore back now. I ran the belt around the outside of the iron outpost. I guess, yeah, it is an outpost or whatever. I don't know if you'd count it as a town because it doesn't have any sort of assembly happening, and I sort of imagine those as being sort of the equivalent of homes in this sort of context. I guess in a way it's sort of like the storyline is that I've gone mad and I'm now personifying all of the machines that I'm building as I try and survive in this wilderness. It makes a fair bit of sense. But anyway, we're bringing the copper back. It's taking a while, just because we need so many belts and we're having to craft them all manually as we go. I mean, we could harvest some from the supply that we have in the main base. I guess I could have done that, but I didn't think of that. I always forget that I can actually go get belts from the belt assembler for greed signs, and I just end up leaving it. So we're going to reposition the smelting of the copper, have it run alongside the iron just because it makes the most sense, what with them both coming from the same direction now. constantly resupplying on iron, using up tons of it, making all of the belts we need to get the copper actually back over here. And then we'll start setting up our actual furnaces, running them right alongside, same system. Once again forgetting to do the spacing there, so we'll make a gap for the power poles. And then we can finally bring in the copper now that we've crafted all of the belts while we were working on that. So we'll bring down the coal, and now we'll have some automatic fueling of this, meaning that the only things we're manually fueling now are the two steel furnaces and the one making stone bricks. And I could easily hook up the steel ones now, looking at it. Just get a couple of long-armed inserters, have the belt run in front of them, that'd be a piece of cake. But I don't think to do that, and I carry on manually fueling it for the rest of this episode at least. I've noticed that there's a bit of a problem with the iron belt being in the way of the power pole, so I just shift everything up by one. There's probably a better way of doing it, but I just moved everything up so that there'd be enough room for the power poles, and left it at that. And we've now got the same number of furnaces that we've got before, but I decided what I'm going to do is upgrade them to the steel furnaces, because if I remember correctly what I was told, they use the same amount of coal but do everything twice as fast, and that's their particular advantage. So now we've got twice as much copper production as we had before, which should be more than enough to keep things running, because the supply was enough before. I don't know whether it was running down anyway, because there was a buffer chest and it wouldn't have been so visible. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So there it is, it's all flowing in and building up, and the red science production has kicked in, as well as the circuit production for green science. And I've set off the production of a few more engines, I believe 60 of them, so we could make another 3 steam engines, well, I guess trains, because steam engines are the power generation one. That always throws me off. Diesel locomotives they are, even though I don't believe they run on diesel, though apparently someone told me that the diesel can be solid, or so I don't even know. And I mentioned it previously, and someone said a thing. So I'm going to set up a bit of personal copper supply by adding in a 5th furnace, and that matches up with the 5 mining drills that we have over at the outpost, so that works out well. We're also going to add in some more coal mining, the reason being that the power is not great right now. It's going very yellow, and it has been for a little bit, and we're continuing to add in more production. So we'll add in a 2nd steam engine column. For now we're just going to keep going with steam. I don't know whether we'll particularly want to move towards solar panels quickly. In terms of staying alive, I would want to go over to solar fairly quickly, because there are far too many biters around to be dealing with so much pollution, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm just setting it up the same as the one that we've already got. 10 boilers, 10 burner inserts feeding into them, automatically fueling themselves thanks to the, I believe, 0.12.1 it was that brought that in. We're now in 0.12.2, they're doing an update every week at the moment, just fixing various bugs and so on, as they're reported and found and such. So we put in the 8 steam engines in order to make it all fit right. It's had to be a little bit further along. We're also going to sort out our weaponry. As you can see, this place is getting attacked fairly often, so it's probably a good idea to double up the turrets that we have up here. This seems to be the main target of the biters coming in from the northeast right now. They just keep running for that particular turret. So let's have 2 of them there, and that'll help fight them off. I mean, at the moment, the one turret is enough to deal with them, but it gives them quite a lot of time working away at the wall, and it is a little bit disconcerting. You have to go back fairly often to make sure it's all good. So with 2 turrets, they'll deal with them twice as fast, and that'll be all good. So we've connected up now the water pump for the new steam engine column. That kicks in, and the power problems are solved. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm not sure. I guess maybe next episode or the episode after we'll end up starting to use that up, depending on how quickly we get on with our towns in future, and whether we start to get things moving at a decent rate. It can be a little bit fiddly to set things up initially, just because, as I've said before, you need to sort of set them all up at once and get a little bit of a network going before you can actually get the science being made in 4 different towns and stuff. So quick check of the map there, looking at the situation. We've scanned a fair bit more, and we can see the edges of the pollution now, and we can see that there are a lot of biter bases inside that pollution. So we've got more work to do in terms of taking some of them down. We definitely need to cut back. I want to cut back enough that we stop having regular biter attacks, basically, such as that one there. Things are getting quite serious up here now, considering that base only has 2 spawners. That was quite a hefty attack, so let's finish them off. We've got the ammo for it now, so we'll run in and take out the remaining 2 spawners. We'll do those first, because the small worms have the exact same range as you, so you can usually stay out of their range while you're dealing with the spawners. and then just deal with the worms afterwards. And we'll carry on crafting some more ammo, get back up to 50. That seems to be a good number to be at. Though if we wanted to take out a base like the one we just attacked in one go, I guess we need more like 100. Though we are researching bullet damage, so as time goes on, our ammo will get more efficient. So that's good, and we'll basically have more firepower per time crafting or whatever. Because I'm pretty much crafting armor-piercing ammo whenever I remember to, as long as I also have the actual materials handy. Anyway, we're now connecting up the copper mining that we've got to the iron mine. We're going to have it as one big outpost. I'm also doing a bit of rejigging with the walls. I'm shifting them by 1 square because it's totally worth it to do that, and that allows me to put the copper belt inside and have it run alongside the iron belts pretty simply. We'll rejig the turrets to better match the new shape of the outpost. Make sure that they are right on the front line or 1 square behind, depending on how I feel, because the biters do seem to be able to attack over walls at times. They definitely did it with the radar that I had here before, which I've just moved up to get a little bit more range on the scanning. I don't know whether they always go for walls if they're like instead of turrets or something, and that's why they've not been attacking the turrets over the walls. Or maybe I've been having the turrets a square back from the walls more than I've realised. Anyway, that's all good now. We've got all the mining that we want for a while, I think. Let's go for another attack. We've got a bit more ammo on us, and we're also crafting it as we go. So if we start to run down, we'll hopefully be able to keep ourselves supplied. This one has 6 spawners and only 1 worm. So it takes a bit more ammo to deal with, I think. But, well, actually it doesn't, I think, because the bullet damage upgrades have helped keep us well supplied. Though we end up with just 1 magazine, less than 1 full magazine, when we finally finish it off. And we were running into that battle while crafting. So we'll go back to the main base now, resupply again on ammo, and see about doing some more attacks later on. And I try building a bit of a path as I go back. I sort of mess it up a bit, but I can clean it up later, and it is a bit of a boost to us as we make our way to and from the outpost. So back home, we're checking up on the engines. And I believe we've managed to, we've crafted a second steam engine, and I'm going to show off the design that I'm going to be using for my engines. This is the standard design I'm going to have. It's a 2-headed train with 2 cargo wagons in the middle, so it's quite versatile. It can arrive in a station and then leave going backwards and things like that. That's what I'm going to go for, and we'll leave that there for now until we actually have a use for it. I just thought I'd build it to demonstrate, well, to give you an idea of how the town system is going to work once it gets going. So resupplying on various materials while we're in the main base, getting gears and circuits and things, getting back to crafting more ammo. But the thing is, I've queued up 49 magazines, and that is going to take forever. So I decide to set up some automatic production of it. That was sort of the inevitable direction we were going in with this, and it will mean I don't have to worry so much about constantly having to craft the stuff to keep supplied. So what I do is I siphon off the steel that we've got from the storage chest, bring it round to the copper, and then we'll hook the copper and the steel into an assembler that will make the advanced, the armor-piercing ammo. We're going to carry on crafting the standard ammo in our inventory because it doesn't take too long, and it just takes some iron, and we always have plenty of iron on us. And at some point I'll be trying to phase that out and having all my turrets using armor-piercing ammo. It looks like that's where it's going to have to go based on the continual escalation of the biter attacks. So that should die down once we've cleared them away a bit. So that assembler is getting on with the production, and I'm quite happy with the speed that it's making it, because what with it making it all the time, you can run back to it at any point, and there's a nice stockpile built up for you. So what we're going to do is go grab some stone, and I think we'll do a bit of rail crafting. We're still not towards the point where we can start building some towns, but I might start building some templates for how I'm going to arrange like different parts of the network. I was going to say, and then I could also like get blueprints from them, but of course I'm a long way away from blueprints yet. And with having different towns doing different things, coordinating the production of bots and things like that is going to be a little bit more difficult. One of the ideas that I like, someone suggested having one of the towns dedicated entirely to sorting items and working out what needs to be delivered where. Because my original idea was that every town would have its imports and exports, and they would go directly via a particular train to their targets, and it was a bit messy. I did do some testing to see what that sort of map would be like, and it got a bit nightmarish. There were a couple of stations that were really sort of struggling to deal with all of the trains running in with lots of different little bits of stuff. So I might have one big, well, not one big, but like one particular town which is entirely for trains to unload and load up on particular fiddly bits of stuff that it's not worth sort of delivering directly between the towns. Anyway, that was a bit of a sidetrack. We're now in the wilderness, dealing with some biters. There was one little spawner that we dealt with, and then over here I think we have 4. I thought it was 5, but then I think one of them was actually a rock. So yeah, we've dealt with all those, and you may have noticed that in 3 times speed, the spawners make quite a nice popping noise when you take them down. It's quite amusing. Anyway, this one has 3. As we go, we're crafting more ammo. Though I am getting a bit worried because we're already getting quite low with this. Oh no, there's a 4th one just over there as well as a worm. And we end up for a moment running out of ammo, and then we quickly craft an extra magazine to finish that last spawner off with. And then over here there's just one spawner on its own, so we managed to craft enough to deal with that easily enough. But once again, I think we have to resort to stuff that we're crafting in the moment. And now we can get a proper look at the big biter base that we've got in the northeast. And it looks like there are 9 spawners to it and a single small worm. So it's going to be quite a tough one to deal with. I'm going to try and go in with a full stack of 100 ammo, maybe a bit more. Probably some grenades as well. I have crafted a few of those, and they were sort of for backup purposes earlier on when I was attacking the bases down at the iron and copper deposit. But we've got those to hand, ready to do some area of effect damage to any large groups of biters that might run at us. I'm not sure how well they do on bases. I forget to actually test them on those because I'm always sort of maximum distance from the bases as I'm attacking them. Here come some biters now from that base, and you can see they really give that turret a run for its money. It manages to burn through them, but it takes it quite a while, and it takes a fair bit of damage to the walls as it does so. And it looks like because I set that turret up earlier, they've changed the target now to that one. So I decided to double that one up as well to help stop them like eating into the walls so much, because it does use up our resources in terms of the repair packs that I have to build for it. Anyway, continuing to resupply, we've now got our full stack of ammo, and I was considering going to attack the base, but unfortunately night has fallen, and I feel like a big attack like that is best done in the day when I can properly see what I'm doing. So we'll hang around a bit longer, work on the base, make sure everything's good there, plonk a few more lights around the place, because I always forget about that, and with being able to see a little bit better when you're playing than when you're watching, it can be easy to forget and be doing stuff that the viewers have no idea what... Yeah, that was a terrible sentence. Be able to be doing things where the viewers have no idea what you're doing. That's good enough. Anyway, while I wait for the sun to rise, I'm going to show off the station design that I'm currently planning on going for. I have got an alternative that has a 3rd central line, but this one is based on a 2-line system with like basically this, like, all the same spacing and that as I did in Railworld. But it's sort of a different beast. There's not going to be loop-based junctions with this. I'm going to do your standard, more realistic junctions. So that's sort of what I'm going for, because this is more based on like what actual train stations in real life are based on. So as you can see, the way it works, well, maybe you can't say how, but the way it works is that a train can run into any station forwards, but then it can go out of it forwards or backwards. So it allows for quite versatile movements, and you can basically plonk the stations anywhere and send the trains to like in whatever directions you want. So we're attacking the big base now. I think we've got enough ammo to deal with it. Though I think we used up 12 magazines on the biters we were initially attacking alone. Also, I apologise if the grenade noise was a bit too loud. I noticed that when I was watching back. It is quite a punch to the ears when you're listening back in triple speed. But there we go. The base was dealt with in fairly short order. We did use up 98 magazines, so it was quite expensive, but it had to be done. And ultimately, it saved us money, I guess, on the ammo that the defensive turrets will be using. So there we go. That is the largest threat dealt with, and a lot of the smaller ones as well. So hopefully the biter attacks will become a lot less frequent now, and we'll also need to go and further afield and deal with a couple more biters further along. But I think we're in a much better position now to actually start building our towns, and I think we'll start looking at doing that in the next episode. So I'm going to finish off, just do a bit of flooring here, fill this bit in, make it look nice, and just do whatever I can with the stone I've got. And we'll go up to the northernmost part of our power network. I'm going to add in a new radar because my priority now is scanning as far field as possible to see where I should build my bases. So we'll wall that in, put a turret in there, that should be good, and make our way back to the middle. There's a little bit more messing about. I'm going to dump some of the alien artifacts into a chest, and I'm going to go to the middle and say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.